Hey, this is Tatum, and you are now watching The Buzz. What's up? This is Tatum, and you are watching an all-new episode of The Buzz. I am here at In the Meantime Men's Group. I am stopping several people, and we are having an open discussion. I am asking them how they feel about the Trayvon Martin murder case, whether they feel that it was racially motivated, and if they feel that justice is going to be served. We are very, very separated. And for me to walk out of the house every day, I have to be a very, very strong person or individual just overall. Because the most hate that I ever received, like you were saying, is from the black community or from gay black people. Because it's kind of like, I can't be myself, and you were talking about changing yourself. I refuse to change myself or alter myself for anybody. I'm not going to give up my happiness to appease you in any way. I don't know where I've become such a strong individual, but I'm so eccentric that I always just draw people's attention, and it's always something negative coming out of another black person's mouth. Like, what is he doing? Oh, he's just too gay for me, or he's just too this, he's too that. And I mean, you know, to walk down the street, a lot of people have to have a very, very, very strong backbone. And I feel like our community as a whole, I was discussing with a friend of mine in the wake of Trayvon's, murder, that our community is always crying out, oh, they're racist, they're racist, they're racist, instead of bringing it to our realization that our community is very, very racist. Somehow along the way, this country is based on racism and things of that nature. It has trickled into our community, and it's so strong. But the sad thing about it is we rape and pillage ourselves. We rape and pillage our another black person. We do it to ourselves. And I feel like as a community, beyond the Trayvon Martin case, but as a community, we just continue to just put each other down. Right. It's like, it's so sad. We don't help each other. But the crazy thing about it is, that's why you see so many communities, the white community, the Hispanic community, they are united. The Asians, they won't, they're so united. It's like black people, they always have something to say. You can't walk down the street with another black person trying to find something negative about you're gay, or look at his style. It could be a black guy and he's straight, but he has a style that the black community would consider awkward or whitewashed or weird, and he's gay, he's this, he's that. Oh, whoa, look at that. Because he's not walking around looking, like a bum, like some of these other dudes. And I just feel like we have after all that we have been through in our history, we have no sense of acceptance. We have no sense of equality, but we want equality. That you cannot walk into the barbershop without somebody saying something ignorant. You cannot walk into a grocery store without somebody saying something ignorant, taking their pictures on their phone to post it on Facebook to talk about you. It's getting ridiculous, it's getting obscene, instead of just being like, oh, you know what, they're really, really creative, or they're this, or they're that. We're always worried about something to talk about somebody. And it's really, really upsetting. And for me, I refuse to change myself in any way, to make you more comfortable. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. So I feel like, our community, the black gay community, to me, they live their lives in a box of how black men are supposed to act, how, a level of masculinity. It's different, than how a white man is supposed to act, or an Asian man is supposed to act, or how a Hispanic man is supposed to act. You gotta be masculine to do this. You gotta be masculine to do that. And it's like black masculinity is so much different than so many other ethnicities. And if we don't act that way, then we aren't masculine. Or you won't be seen with us. It's so sad. It's so oppressing that we're the ones that are oppressing ourselves. Hi, what's your name?
My name is Spencer Collins.
Okay, and I just want to ask you, how do you feel about the entire Trayvon Martin situation? Do you feel that it was racially motivated? How do you feel about that?
Whenever I talk about this subject, I always have to compose myself, because as you saw earlier, I get a little passionate when it becomes to my black people, because I just think that too often we're overlooked, and this situation angers me because I don't know how anybody can look at that footage or listen to those 911 calls and ask if this was racially motivated.
I do feel that it was racially motivated. I really do hope justice gets served. However, I think the way things are going that may not be the case. I really feel like this was a wake-up call for African Americans and just people in general in America, just making us socially conscious that racism does still exist.
It was, and it's not the first time. I'm 53 and I've seen it happen. I can count 10 times in the history of my life that I've seen this happen. And I think as Americans we have to remember, and just absolutely refuse to forget that if we allow this to continue to happen and at the level that it's happening, then it will just continue to happen, and it's not okay.
I do. I definitely think that as young African American, not just males, but African American, the younger generation in general, there's a lot of stigma that is placed on them, and it is a little difficult for them to overcome them. I don't think that Trayvon was given adequate time to justify himself. I think on Zimmerman's part, was a little premature in his actions.
And I really do, like I said, hope that justice gets served. And if not, I hope that this is something set in stone to prevent situations like this from happening again.
Yes, I believe it's racially motivated. And this is the stuff that happens on a day-to-day basis here in the United States. We just don't deal with it.
What do you think the outcome is going to be? Do you think that justice is going to be served?
I think it's going to be a circus, and I think people are going to miss what the real point of all of this really is that racism is alive and festering in our society, and that so many of us who have kind of progressed in our lives as black people want to dismiss this.
I'm not too sure. I know Zimmerman is well connected, and I do know just with these laws, like this was a law that was passed, so legally he didn't do anything wrong. They want to appeal things, but legally as of today there was nothing done wrong. So I'm not really sure if justice will get served in this situation or not.
I don't know what the outcome's going to be, but I had the sneaky suspicion that Zimmerman, coming from the background that he comes with, a judge in his pocket and a couple of lawyers in his pocket, is going to walk away with this. If he does a year or two, I'm going to be surprised. Justice will not be served.
Justice has to be served, whether or not he's Hispanic, Latino male, or Caucasian Hispanic male, or whatever, or whether or not he was black. Justice should be served regardless.
It is about race, and it's inexcusable that a young man at his age should not be allowed to live out his full life and to die so brutally. It's absolutely unfair. And I'm not about the death penalty, but I think he should severely suffer for this. And I think he's probably doing that now. And I think it should be prolonged. I don't think he should be given a death sentence. I think he should be allowed to live the rest of his life in prison.
And I hope that we as a people come together, not separated, because we as black people have a tendency to separate ourselves. The gay blacks will come together, the bisexual blacks will come together, the light-skinned blacks, the dark-skinned blacks. All blacks need to come together, and I hope y'all listening. All of us need to come together, and we need to fight this issue as one so that we can be effective, because change has to start with us. Or this is going to happen to your son, this is going to happen to your nephew, your brother. Trayvon Martin is us. I am Trayvon Martin. He's Trayvon Martin. We need to protect us. So get out there and do what you can do to be a part of this fight. Make stuff happen.
Actually, I have to say that I actually disagree. I feel that, I'm going to be very positive about it. I feel like I'm going to be just very, positive about it. I think that justice will be served in some way. I hope it will. I don't want to be negative about it.
I've given my views about how I feel. I do feel it was racially motivated. I feel that, you know, stereotypes have trickled down into our own community that we tend to follow and live by. But I feel like it will be. I feel like justice will be served.
Good.
Comment and subscribe. For bios, pictures, and other shows with new news, visit yourboynewnews.com.